Let's be real, nothing kills your personal image faster than a messy client experience. If your clients log into HoneyBook and they're getting lost as to what to do, or they feel overwhelmed by your process, it will make a lasting impression and unfortunately not the type of impression you want to make. And that is a major problem because a clunky dashboard just really makes you look unprofessional and it will make clients question your business. But here's the good news I have for you today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to exactly customize your HoneyBook client portal so it feels branded, organized, and seamless, like a VIP lounge for your clients. Believe me, I've been where you are today. I used to do some things manually, and when I did transition to a CRM, I only did the bare minimum, which was getting paid in it and possibly sending a few emails. But I'm going to share with you this brand new feature that HoneyBook has created for those of us in the event industry to be able to create this amazing experience for our clients. And let's be honest, you're probably watching this video because you've already been spending hours trying to find content on how to use these new features. So I'm going to save you some time today to be able to show you how to go about doing it. So let's go ahead and crack the code and get into it. For those of you that are new to my channel, hi, my name is Jessie. I am a certified HoneyBook Pro, and I love talking about the unsexy things that it takes to run a successful business in the event industry. So today's conversation is geared towards those of you that have been on the fence of using HoneyBook, or those of you that are already HoneyBook members and you really are not using all of the great features that are inside of it. So I will be sharing my screen so that you're able to see exactly where all of these things are located, because I know some of you really wish that I did a better job of showing some images and displayed some of the presentation. So I've listened and I'm working to get better with this. First things first, when you are setting up HoneyBook, I always recommend for people to take the time to create your company brand inside of HoneyBook. The way that you do it is under your settings and you go to company profile. You want to actually upload your logos. You want to make sure you make the main colors there. You can even upload some images so that you're always able to pull them in to make it easy for any of your creation process. You also want to make sure that you take the time to upload what your company theme is. So choosing whichever fonts you want to have inside of your account. And if you do have a company font that is not one of the standardized fonts inside of HoneyBook, don't worry. You can actually upload those fonts easily inside of HoneyBook. All you do is upload font, and then you just have to make sure that you're using one of these file types to be able to do it. One thing I always do recommend for people to do is choose fonts and colors that are easy to be read inside of HoneyBook and still consistent with the branding that you are wanting for people to see and know you for. By doing this beforehand, it actually makes it easier to create any of your templates and most importantly, for you to create your portal so that clients are able to see your brand. I also say that when you're creating your inquiry forms, and I do have a video that's scheduled to come out about that in the next couple of weeks. What you want to make sure that it's seamless so that when anyone comes to that form, that they're not questioning if you are the real person or not, because that is a thing. This day and age, when we have all of these fake websites that are out there, you want to make sure that someone is not going to be concerned about if you're a real person or not. So just go through, add all the colors that are according to your brand so that, again, it's a uniform approach inside of it. So I'm just going to click save. So once you do that, you can also go in and make sure your email signatures and everything like that are correct. All right, now let's get into the good part because you may not even know that there is a client portal. So the way that you go to it is that you can click on settings, then client portal and domain. Inside of HoneyBook, it does allow for you to use your own active domain, or you can even do a subdomain. So you do have that as an ability. But here is where you see about the client portal. And it's intended so that clients are able to easily see any communication files all in one place. And is also secured, which makes a huge difference. I am in the corporate event space, and I have clients that work with me multiple times a month or at least once a month. And for them, they love to be able to go in the portal and say, hey, Jesse, I saw that this event is scheduled. I was reviewing some of the documents and I wanted to ask some questions. So by having individual projects for each one of the bookings, it makes it easy for my clients to one, know which event is going for each one of the projects. And two, it allows for me and my team and my vendors to know exactly what's happening on each event. And I would love to know from you, should I actually do a video to show about how you can have vendors managed inside of HoneyBook with using related workspaces? I feel like people don't know about related workspaces. And if you would like to know more about that, comment below and I will do a video for you. So inside of here, you have your portal link that you're able to easily share with someone. And then you can toggle that you now want to be able to include it in project emails, which again is a really great option so that whenever you're sending them proposals and things like that, it will be there. Okay. And then as you scroll down, you will now be able to see client portal preview. And this is where you get to customize it. The great thing about this is that when the login page, because they do have to log in, either because you sent them a link or they have their login information that is aligned to an email and password. If your client does not use HoneyBook, which majority of our clients will not, the best way for them to have access is that inside of the project, you can easily send them the link so that they can access a specific file or just to access their portal. And I'll show you how to do that a little bit later on in this video. So you have the ability to change the background colors. So you do want to make sure you're using your brand colors here. Then you do have the ability to say, do I want to show the logo or do I not want to show the logo? I think it's key to know exactly how you're planning on using this portal. So let's say you are someone that does weddings and you do event management and you want your clients to be able to go inside of the portal, maybe to upload images for you, to share documents and things of that nature, then you want to think, okay, if I'm going to be directing people intentionally to the portal, what do I want to be? How do I want their first impression to be? So you can decide on the logo shape if you want it square or if you want it to be a big logo. This is why I recommended one of the first steps was to actually go in and put your branding. So it easily has already your logo and things of that nature. So you have the ability to change the logo shapes. In addition, you can decide, do I want the company name to show or do I not want it to show? If you want it to be a title, you have up to 27 characters. So let's say you are a planner, a wedding planner, and you can say, let's plan your wedding. That could be your thing. And then you just toggle that off. So you have the ability to change the colors to any of the colors that are here. As long as you know your hex colors, and I'll just show if I wanted it that color, I can do so as well. The color for the button is a part of your company preferences as what you mark down as your primary highlight color. So if you want that color for this button to change, you need to make sure your branding colors are reflective of that. Now, this is where we get into how to keep it all nicely organized. In this portion, you want to really think about what are the personal touches that you want for people to see inside of your portal to make sure that it looks the way you want it to look. So as you see here, you can change the background color. So if I wanted to make the background color that color, which I absolutely do not, um, I have the ability to change it to whatever color I want based on that. You can change your highlight color here inside of the portal. So if you wanted to have the colors in your portal different than what your other documents are, but still within your spectrum of brand colors, you have the ability to do that. You also have the ability to change what are the fonts inside of the portal that you want the client to see. And all of these things really are just, okay, how do I want my brand to look? And how do I want for people to feel when they go inside of there? So you have the ability as well to change the sidebar if you wanted that to be a different color, which is really great. And then it shows you as you're making these changes what it will look like in real time. So if you wanted to have the highlight colors different colors and you're like, okay, I don't know if that's what I want to do, you can see that. And then as you change the fonts, as you see, it will update. It updated the fonts so you can see what that will look like. You have the ability to also change the button text color, which let's say I wanted it to be black. I can decide, do I want to have corners, really round corners inside of the portal, or do I want to have no corners inside of the portal? And then two, as you see, you can change the font of the button. So you have the ability to change the font of the button and the font of the actual text inside of the portal. The biggest thing to remember is that once you do make these changes, you want to actively think, how am I going to keep my clients engaged and informed when using this feature? The people that I can really see using this more effectively are planners, because I know that there are some competitor planner sites that are out there. And so, like, if you see here where my mouse is, where it says task, when you assign tasks to the client, you can have a checklist of things that you want for them to do as well. They'll be able to get payments and receipts. So those of us that are on the corporate side of it, I've had clients that were just going to their portal and they download the receipts so that they can actually submit their expense reports. So it comes down to, how are you going to actively let people know that that's there and why to do it? Because if you just send someone a link to a portal without actual explanation as to why they should be using the portal, they probably will not use the portal. But I think the portal is a really great feature for those of us that have been trying to find a way to have all of the communication for a client in a centralized location. So once you make the time to actually go through and make all these personal touches, I would highly recommend for you now to take the time to test it with a client. You may have a client that you work with repeatedly, or someone that is a friend that can act as if they're a client and doing a test run of the portal to see where things are located. Or you could do an option of removing an existing client from an archive project and adding a friend in it so they can see that, or you might have an extra email address, who knows? And you can go right into the portal to see exactly what they see and how they see it. This is going to be super important for you to see how easy it is for you to have things in a centralized location and communicating effectively with your client. And by the way, don't forget, HoneyBook is really intended and built for us to be able to run our businesses professionally and at a high caliber without the stress that can be involved with being a business owner. Because one of the hardest things for creatives can sometimes be focusing on the systems and the structures that we're needing inside of our business so that we're able to scale. If you're loving the tips that I provided with this specific video, I have some really great news for you, because I have a upcoming HoneyBook free workshop where I'll be going over the updates that they just announced for this month, and I'll be doing it monthly to help with teaching other professionals in the event industry and service-based businesses on how to use HoneyBook effectively and efficiently. I'll make sure to have inside of the show notes and the caption how to be able to sign up, because I would love to have you as a guest. So the most important thing for you to really get out of this video is that your client portal is more than just a dashboard. It is a way to make a great first impression with your client and keep things in a organized way for them to not feel overwhelmed. Building a solid client experience, you're going to not only build up their trust, but also help with solidifying their reason for working with you. By taking the time to brand your client portal, it will allow for you to show up the way that you want to show up when people have the opportunity to work with you. So if you want to be able to dig deeper into some of these new updates that HoneyBook has offered, I would love to see you at the upcoming HoneyBook workshop to be able to go over some of these features with you. I'll make sure to drop a link inside of the description so that I can see you there. It's time to make your business look as professional behind the scenes as it does on the event day. Until the next time, peace